My name is Mark Johnson, and I'm the editorial board chair for the CDO magazine. Today, I'm excited to have an opportunity to talk to Heidi Lanford, who is the Chief Data Officer for Fitch Group. She's just recently been added to the list of global data power women and has a lot of passion and perspective on the topic. So we thought we'd spend a little bit of time getting to know Heidi. Heidi, welcome to the interview.
Thanks, Mark. Glad to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit about Fitch Group?
Sure. Fitch Group is one of the three large credit ratings agencies that exist globally, and we have a presence in all the major cities around the world. But I'm based out of our New York City location, and joined in November of 2020, and here I am a few months later.
Well, Heidi, can you tell us a little bit about what attracted you to Fitch Group?
So the interesting, thing about Fitch Group is, we are in the financial services sector. We do a lot of technology and data related work with our products that we offer. And this was a new challenge for me. I mean, I have worked in a variety of industries throughout my experience as a consultant and working for agencies. And I'd spent a little bit of time with a few clients in some financial services sectors, but to really dig in deep, it presented a new challenge. And also the size of the company and the inflection point where we are at was pretty enticing. We have about 4,000 employees, and at that size, there's this great inflection point between, doing lots of things very passionately and then the ability to really scale and augment. And data is at the heart of that. And this was a critical time in the middle of Fitch's agile transformation that they embarked on about a year ago. And so I came in to really lead that whole data part of the transformation journey.
Well, what's really exciting to me about you, and I just want to give you, in just a minute, I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into the field of data, and why you're so passionate about it. But what's really exciting is that you were selected to be a member of the Global Data Power Women's list, and your passion preceded you in the nomination and in the review and selection. So I'd like you to share a little bit with us about how you came to be so passionate about data and why it really matters to you more than just as a job, but really as a mission that's supporting transformation for Fitch Group and the places you've been prior.
Sure. Well, I'm probably one of, maybe those early adopters of this as kind of its own discipline, I think. So if we wind back the clock just a few years, I came from a family where my father was a statistics professor and my mom was a high school math teacher. And, we talked math and education all the time. And when I was, listening to my parents opine about kids asking for grade changes and all the administrative work and the politics, it became very clear to me that I didn't want to go into teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I did like math a lot. I was generally afraid of asking my father for help because he was one of those guys that insisted that you go back and, prove the theorem. He wasn't just going to tell you how to solve the problem. So
Right.
I would usually go to my mom for help. And then I fell into an internship in one of my last years in high school at the Naval Research Laboratory, which was a program for STEM-oriented kids in the Washington, D.C. area to work, for a lot of these government agencies and learn about, the fields of engineering and math and science. And I took this job as like an intern in high school, and I fell in love with the systems engineering group that I was in at the Naval Research Laboratory. And so I applied to engineering school. And when I got to engineering school, again, wasn't going to be a teacher and was thinking, well, this is different enough from math and stats that my parents had gone into. I started to feel pretty claustrophobic about you know, no extra credits that you could take in Shakespeare or, history of jazz or art history or politics. And I would listen to my, suite mates all talking about these phenomenal classes that they were taking. And I only got, I think, 2 or 3 electives in all 4 years in
Mhm.
this program. And so after a semester, I said, this isn't for me. And I dropped out and went into the College of Arts and Sciences and became a math major with a stats minor. But I continued to take all of the computer science classes that I could take. I took a lot of business school classes. I took econ, all of those things. I kind of feel like I sort of created that data science undergraduate interdisciplinary major
Mhm.
back in the late 1980s, early 90s, before there was such a thing.
Right.
I really liked the application of math and statistics to other disciplines. And I ended up landing a job with a consulting firm, Price Waterhouse, at the time. And they had a very unique practice called management analytics, which was essentially a data mining, data science practice group of about 100, 120 associates. And we analyzed data, we built predictive models, we worked with government clients, state and local government, and then we started to migrate into the private sector. And I got put on a project that's like one of my favorite projects that I, really think sort of cemented the deal for me to stay in this field as long as I have. And it was a forecasting and sampling strategy project for the limited stores. And we
Mhm.
were doing a big custom ERP build out, the Price Waterhouse, IT consultants were doing that, and they brought in us data scientists to help mine some of that data and look for some opportunities. And we essentially built out a sampling strategy for them on how they tested clothing items several months ahead of time in a limited number of stores before they made that big buy, that big order with their manufacturers in China. And after a couple of mishaps, they realized they really needed to get more rigorous with how they measured things, how they sampled things, and hence where we were able to help solve that problem. And I kind of, as a 22-year-old working in, I guess we call it fast fashion now, the fast fashion industry, it was fascinating to me. And the linkage between my academic studies, the application of data and statistics to real world problems, caught the bug, have never looked back.